Everybody can see my screen?
Yes, Bhaiya.
Okay. So pay attention here and we'll start from whatever I have asked you to do right now and then we'll move forward from there, okay? So first thing is like we learned about what is object-oriented programming and but why object-oriented programming? Why not anything else like array-oriented programming or something like that? So we learned about these two things and the last we learned about the nature of object. So let's just have an example of what is the nature of object. So we have an object called user that has a property called name, and we have an extra property called underscore underscore proto underscore underscore. And here it's another object. What I'll do, I'll go ahead and add some another values here, something like I'll add a method called say hello. Say hello is a function. What it does, it just alerts a message, and the message can be hello John. So now we have this. What if I want to use this? So I can just say user then we have John here. If we expand it in our Dunder Proto, we can see say hello. So what happens when we say user dot say hello? Call it, you will see the message hello John is being printed here. And the reason it is doing that is because of the like prototypal nature of the object, or you can think about it to be the nature of an object. What it does, if you're looking for a property, like here I'm looking for a property called say hello, so it will go inside the object first and look for that property. And if it could not find that property, because in user the only property we have is name, and it could not find the property, then it goes inside the Dunder Proto chain. So I'll look into Dunder Proto and I can find these methods here. So I can find my say hello and then I'll execute it and I'll get the value. But what if we have multiple chain like that? What if I have another Dunder Proto here and that is going to point to another object? That object has property like say again, that is again going to be a function that will alert. So I'll just go ahead and print a message called inside Dunder Proto. And now if you take a look, what is happening is we have user object. Inside user object, we have a property called name. We have another property called Dunder Proto. The reason it is called Dunder Proto is because it is double under. So 1 and 2. And it comes from language that is Python. So in Python, they used to use double underscore and they used to call it Dunder. So even in JavaScript, they call it Dunder. So user has two property, name and Dunder Proto. But Dunder Proto is a special property. And what it means is like special property. If you're looking for a property and you could not find it, it goes down the Dunder Proto chain. So here in first Dunder Proto, you have a method say hello. Inside that you have another Dunder Proto. And inside that we have another function called say hello, and that points to this thing. Now, if we try to refresh it and look for that property here, we can just see user. User has a property called name and a special property called Dunder Proto that is an object. This Dunder Proto has a property called say hello and another special property called Dunder Proto. Expand it again, and then we can see say again and Dunder Proto. So you can see it keeps expanding multiple times. What we can do is we can just say user dot sam and call it. What happens is I'm looking for a property sam that is a function that I mean to say because I'm calling it. So first it will go inside the first object, look for the property, could not find it. Because of the nature of the object, it will go down the Dunder Proto chain. So here it will look for the property say Sam again, but it will not find it. It will go down to the Dunder Proto chain. It will look for the property Sam. It will not find it. It will go down again, look for the property Sam. It will not find it. And this is the end. Because it could not find that property Sam inside that object, and that's why it is throwing you an error. User.sam is not a function. But what if I go ahead and say again, call it, and here we can see inside Dunder Proto. The reason we're able to see that is because I'm looking for a property say again. It will go inside the object. Inside the object, it will look for the property say again. It will not find it. So it will go down the Dunder Proto chain. So it will look for Dunder Proto. It will not find it. Go down again and look for that property. And we can find that say again is a function. And that's why executing it returned a message inside Dunder Proto. So this is the nature of the object. You can keep going inside multiple as many times as you want, like Dunder Proto inside another Dunder Proto. You can keep going in that way. And in that way, it will be able to keep going down Dunder Proto chain. So that is what the nature of object is. Is everybody clear with that? Any question if you have in this example, please go ahead.
It's clear, Ankit.
Okay. So let's move on to the next topic. How we are going to, we learned about all these things like why object oriented, what is the nature of objects. Now let's try to have a use case for these things. Like, why do we need this? So for that, what I'll do is like, I'll go ahead and write my requirements. It's like, say, think about, I'm going to set up my requirement in the start. So using that requirement later on, we can just use, like keep building on top of it to understand why we are doing something like that, or what is the reason behind things like what we are going to do. So let's have a requirement. What app do you guys want to create? Do you want to create a quiz app? Do you want to create what batch information app? Whatever you guys want to do, can you give me a preference? Like, so we will be creating something like a quiz app, or it can be a batch information app, where what it will do is like it will create some, it will have some data and some methods. So I'll just give you an example and then we can decide on that. Like, let's think about, we are creating a quiz app, or it can be any app. I'm thinking about quiz user app. So here, if you're having a quiz app, important thing is like, say for example, you create a quiz app, your quiz app will have these properties. What are the properties? Like quiz user app will contain all the information about the user and some prop methods to act on those data. So as we talked about yesterday, that every app requires two important things, data and what was the second thing?
UI.
Data and UI.
And UI.
Data, UI, and there was also another thing. So in this, today we'll not be talking about UI, we'll just be trying to do everything in the console right now. So there are two important things that you always need is data and functions to act on those data. I don't think you have gone through the video yesterday or something. We talked about like having data, like if you remember, data was all to do's. And what were the methods or functions? Remember now? Yeah, so every application requires two important parts, that is data, and here a function that can act on the data to manipulate it. Say for example, you have two to-do list. You run a method called add to do. What it will do? It will make that to do from 2 to 3. Remove to do will remove 1. Update to do will update the information. So these things will keep happening. So let's just call it method, because we are doing it for object oriented, and object oriented does it inside an object, and function inside an object is known as methods. So every application requires two important things, that is data and methods. I've given you the example here, but let's think in terms of what are the data required for quiz users. Say user app, something like what are the information you will need. So you can need something like the name of the user, isn't it? You'll need name. What all other information you'll need for that user? Anything else you'll need? Score of the user. So we'll try to keep it simple, but the things will be name of the user, score of the user. And in terms of method, we'll have two things. Let's have one is like a way to increment score. And a way to, what will be the other method?
Decrement, sir.
Yeah, it will be decrement score. Let's have, so we can have anything that we want, but I'm just making it simple for you guys to just understand that we can do something like that. So each user will have a name and a score to take care of. Means every user will have that as unique, like say name will be this much, score will be this much. And whenever I want to increment their score, say for example, that guy did the quiz right, what we need to do? We need to increment the score. He didn't do it right. So what we need to do? We need to decrement the score.
Decrement.
So these are the two things we will be doing. And so everybody understood what our app is going to look like. Every user is going to have name and score, and we are going to have two methods. In future, we will increase the number of methods, but for now, let's just keep it very simple. So we focus more on understanding why we are doing something that we are going to do. So this is decrement score and increment score, and these are methods, okay? Now the question is, I want to create a user. How will you create a user? So for example, I want to create a user for Sonu. How will I create it? We know that all these things, where it can come together, in which data type it can come together.
Inside an object.
So for that, what will we do? Like we will create an object named what? What will be the name of the object? Because it will be Sonu, right?
Yeah.
Because we are creating the information for Sonu. So I'll go ahead and create Sonu. And inside that, what are the properties there will be? Go ahead.
There will be data like name.
Name.
There will be score.
Score. It will be, say for example, start with 0. It will have a method called
Increment. Increment score.
Increment score. It's going to be a
Function.
Function that will do something, but right now let's just say console.log increment. Or let's just increment the value. How can you increment the value? Which value do I need to increment?
Score.
Score. How can I access score?
Sonu.score.
Good. And I need to, if I can just say plus plus, that will be better because it will increment the value and assign the value.
Yes.
The same thing we will do with
Decrement
score. The only thing changing here is
minus.
And it will be
minus.
All good?
Yeah.
So
yes.
we have Sonu, okay, and everything is working properly. I can just go ahead and along with that, let's just this function return Sonu dot score, so we don't have to look for this value again and again. Okay, all good?
Yes.
Now I just want to use Sonu, so I'll be like, okay, I have Sonu. In that I have some methods, like I have some properties like name and score, decrement score and increment score. I want to use some method. So I'll say what? Sonu dot increment score. Call it. It is returning undefined. Okay, let's see. Okay, let's do it again. Yeah, I didn't refresh the page, so that's why it is returning undefined. But if you say increment score and call it again, what is happening?
The score is getting incremented by one every time.
Right, like we can also use methods that is like decrement score, and we can see the score is decrementing here.
Incrementing.
If I want the name, so what can I say? Sonu dot name, I'll get the name. What if I want to implement other method like change name? So can anybody walk me through about change name, how we can make it work? What it will be doing? Elton, can you walk me through? Change name will be a function that is perfect.
Yeah.
Will it require any parameter?
No.
No. Like, and then here, what will I do?
Sonu dot name.
Sonu dot name will be equal to what? We can take that as a parameter.
Or yeah, you can use a parameter. Yeah.
Awesome. Good job. So I'll take the name and assign it to this part and return what? Sonu.name. So I'm just saying, like, you can keep adding properties or methods, but here the important part is what we are doing is all these methods that we are writing is going to act only on these two important data, right? So right now we are implementing it in this way. How many of you see any limitation with this? Any of you who see any limitation with doing things like this? So I have created my implementation in this way. Every time a user comes to our website, what we will do. So for example, we want to implement for second user. How can I do it? So this is for first user. I want to create the same information for Elton. So what will I do? So this is like second user. So how will I create this object again?
Again, you have to create an object.
I'll have to copy the whole thing, change the name here. Now Elton is created, but I want Elton to have a minimum of 10 score because he paid me some money, something like that. I'm just thinking like, because here, if you look at Sonu has score of 0, Elton has a score of 10. And every time a new user is coming, say for example, the next user is Visakha, what will I do? Visakha, what will I do?
Again, create the same.
Again, copy and paste the whole code and change the name here. That's all I'll do. And that is what is happening. And so think about, like, say your app launched on Product Hunt and it went viral. Okay, it went viral of like millions of people are using this app. And how you're doing it, you are doing it. Okay, so this is not the right way of doing it. How many of you think this is the right way of doing it? Or how many of you think like there is some limitation with doing something like this in this way? We have a lot of repetition going on, right?
Yeah.
So the first problem is a lot of repetition. And the second is we have to do everything manually because who is creating the object?
We are creating the object.
We are creating the object. So it will be like, okay, whenever there is a 10 user, they will call me and okay, what is your name? Elton, what is your score? Okay, I'm going to give you 10. Okay, you're going to have increment method, decrement method, change name. But if you look at this structure, it will always be the same thing.
Yeah.
So repetition is too much and then too much of manual work, right?
Yeah.
So how can you fix these two problems? How do you fix repetition or how do you fix manual work doing multiple times in programming language or JavaScript? How can you fix this? Anybody who can just give me any simple way of fixing it?
Creating function.
What? Say it again.
By creating function.
Awesome, Sadav. Because we have seen that function is a series of steps that it takes to perform something. So here, what I can do, I can create a function called create user. And if you look at your user, what are the information that is going to change?
Name,
Name,
score.
the only thing changing is name and score. So I'll take that as a parameter, name and score. If you're not passing score, I'll default it to 0. And this function needs to return what? Think about it, what it will return.
Object.
It will return an object. Awesome. Inside that object, what are the properties we are going to have? So what I'll do is, like, instead of doing this, I'll just create a user object that is going to be a blank object. And at last, I'm just going to return user. Now the point is here, I need to add the properties. So what will I do? User.name is going to be name. User.score is going to be score. Then user.increment score is going to be a function that is going to be this function. If you want to keep it outside, we can keep it outside, but here we can just keep it. Okay, this is the function we need. Similarly, we need another one called user.decrement score, and that is also going to be a function. And that function is just going to say something like this. Let's copy it, change this to something, and we'll not be adding a change name right now, is because if the function gets bigger, it will not be visible on the screen. So it's better to just keep it simple. Now let's try to look at this function. So here, instead of Elton, what will I do? We need to change this because variable is changing.
User.
What will I do?
User.
Perfect, simple.
Yeah.
It will be user.this. Now we have created this function. We need to create user. So every time some new user is coming, what will I do? I'll just say let. I have to create a user for Visakha. So what will I do now? Visakha?
Call the function.
I'll call the function create user, and I'll pass the name, and I'll pass the score. I'll give you 100. Okay. So in that way, I created third user. If you refresh this page and look at first user, that is Sonu, and look at second user, that is Elton. And then we have third user, that is Visakha. If you compare this, like, so look at these methods like change name, decrement score, increment score. And here also we have change name, decrement score, and increment score. Here we have not added change name, but can you differentiate between them? They all look the same, right?
Yes.
But now every time we have to do all this important work, we'll not be doing it this way. Instead of that, we'll go ahead and comment out these things. So this became a previous code and we came on to this generation. So I'll go ahead, add to user. I'll say Sonu, and we'll update it to whatever value it was 0. And then we have Elton, and the score is going to be 10. Now think about it, which way of creating new user will you prefer? This way of doing it or this way of doing it?
This way.
Second one.
Second way, creating function.
So we were facing some problems, and what we did with that problem, we deleted, we just solved that problem. So here repetition of too much manual work is gone because we have created a function, and that function creates the object for us. Or you can think that function is going to create user for you. Okay.
Yeah.
All good. So right now your website is limited to 10-20 people. You keep on, like, every time a new user is coming, you're running this function, creating new user. Say, I want to create new user. Now, what is the easiest, what is the way of doing that, Tinkle?
Yeah. Let
Let
the name and call the create UI.
create user.
Create user and name underscore.
And here score will be say 11 or make it 1. Okay, so this is how we created. Like now it becomes a lot more easier because most of the repeated task is being done by function. All good for everyone?
Yes, Bhaiya.
Yes.
So any problem here now?
No,
Everybody
Bhaiya.
understood the problem and the way we solve the problem?
Yeah.
Okay. Now let's imagine another scenario. Like you launched on Product Hunt and you got 10 user, and this way of doing things is working for you. Say what happened, there's a website called Hacker News that is very, very popular, and you got trend, like you were in trending on that app, that website for 10 days, and that's why you have 1 million user. So think in that way. Do you see any problem or limitation with this way of doing it? If you have 1 million user, think about it.
Yeah, there will be a lot of variables.
There will be a lot of variables like what?
Like let Sonu, let Alter, let Tinkle, kind of that.
No, but I think like every user needs to be created, because if you'll not create the user, how will you store the data? You will have to create the user. So you
We
will have
can.
to create this many variables.
Yeah.
How else will you store it? Everybody can just say whatever they want. It's totally fine. Like the more discussion we do, the better we will understand. Otherwise what happens is, because you guys are looking at the screen and not talking, what happens is like you will start feeling a bit lazy and then sleepy, and then you'll not be listening. So whatever idea comes to your head, please share it. I'll be very, very happy to listen to that.
Now we can't access all the users.
You cannot access all the users.
Yeah, we have to say Visakha, Sono, and then.
Yeah, so we can just store that into an array or something, and then we can access it, right, Tinkle?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so we can do that, but yeah, that is not the scope of this thing, because we are mostly focusing on how we are going to organize this data is not important right now. We can store that into a database, we can store that into an array. The scope of the class for today is to fix this thing, how we can create it more optimized version of it. What are the different ways we can create an optimized version of it? So any other thing anybody can think about?
Uh,
Go ahead.
Sir, it returns the object every time, so it can be accessible and change be modified. That kind of.
Object.
Yeah.
Okay, so
So it can be globally accessible and modified. Like after returning the object Sonu, it can be modified like Sonu.score equal to 200, 300.
yeah, it can be, but we'll just put it into a function.
Sir?
Wrap this whole thing into a function. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, so we can transfer this method into proto because we are.
Okay, no, I think whatever you're saying, can anyone hear that? What he's saying?
Yeah, I'm saying that we can transfer this method into proto.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, that. But why we do need to do that?
Yeah, actually, ये तो नहीं पता.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's just try to understand what is happening here. Okay. Yesterday we tried to understand an array. So it is like let array is equal to an array like this. If we look at the property of array, we find in that array there is nothing like map or something. But where is it? So if you look at the properties which been different, like so for example, I'll go ahead and assign a value of 1, 2, 3, 4 and look at array. Can you look at the difference between dunder proto and 1, 2, 3, 4? What is the difference between 1, 2, 3, 4 and dunder proto and length? What is the difference in terms of UI, how browser is trying to convey that information? Do you see any difference here? So does dunder proto looks a bit like a blurry?
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Why do you think they do it? So the reason is like, because this is known as secret life of object. This is the real life of object, but this one is a secret life that we don't know. And that is what we are trying to understand in this class, right? So think about, where is this dunder proto coming from?
Inside that array.
Yeah, so it is coming from inside that array, but where does it exist? You remember we talked about it yesterday, like where does the method of string, the method of number, the method of boolean, the method of array exists?
Prototyping.
So we learned about like it exists on array dot prototype. So array dot prototype is a bag that contains the prototype of all the array. So what happens is, like, you remember the example that I've given you yesterday, like you guys are doing the class and in your class you have an extra bag and that bag contains all the information or all the food that you need. And whoever is hungry, what he does?
Like he goes and take the food from that bag.
He goes and take the food and come back. And later on what he does is like, just keep it back there. Say for example, next time Tinkle is hungry or Tinkle is feeling to eat something, what he will do?
He will go and take the food from the bag. He'll eat and he'll.
So everybody who needs it will take the food from there and will go on to next thing, right?
Yeah.
So that is the same thing is happening here in the browser. You can think of, so I'll just go ahead and draw a basic diagram to help you understand it. So you can think of this to be a browser. So we have a browser. Inside our browser, we have small packages. So this package, so we have multiple packages, okay? So these are 4 packages we have. This is the package of array. So I'll write it array. This is the package of string. And this is the package of number. And this is for object. Now, I'm writing any piece of code here. So whenever we are writing something like array.map, as soon as you said array, what happens is this package got stuck into this array. A stuck means like a bag. And whenever you're saying .map, because in this bag, there is map, it is able to use it. So there is only one existence, or you can think of one instance of that whole bag here in the browser, and they can be used multiple times. So it doesn't mean that they have a copy of it. So, and the reason they do that is because they want to optimize the performance of all these things. So they want to optimize the performance. So they cannot have, think about it. Array is going to be a huge collection. It has a lot of methods here, right? Like, so you can think of it to be, there are a lot of things there is in array. So right now, if there is one copy of array and we go ahead and create another array. So now we have another array. Can you see the copy here? All the methods are going to, like, have you ever seen map behaving differently for you?
No way.
Map always behave the same. So why? So here we have one copy, here we have one copy, because the way we look at it, it feels like, look at this here. So let's create one variable called ARR, that is an empty array. Let's create another one called ARR2, that is an empty, not an empty array. It's 1, 2, 3. And if you try to differentiate between them, ARR and ARR2, how can you differentiate? You can see, okay, there is no value here, there is no value here. But if you look at dunder proto, everything looks the same. So why to have those two array are two different copy of array methods? So that's why what they do is at one time, you're only going to use one method. So I'll keep it here as common shareable one, like similar to what example I've given to you guys, is think about every student there is bringing their own stuff to eat. Okay. Will that be a good thing to do? Yeah, it can be, because everybody can have, but that will not be something that everybody will be able to use it, and that will not be optimized. You will have to keep it in your own bag again and again and again, and everybody will have to do that. But here, you don't have to do that. You can just go ahead and just use this common one. So when this one is using, point to this one. When this one is using, point to this one. And browser takes care of this part in that way. What happens is like they optimize Dunder Proto because they use it all the time. So they optimize it. So everybody understood what I'm trying to talk about here?
Yes, sir. Yes, Bhaiya.
Ankit sir, if they have their own copy, so it will increase their like size of the memory. That's why we optimize.
Exactly. If they
Yeah.
have their own copy, all array, all string. So can you imagine your string is 64 byte or something like that? Then you have something like, okay, it's a huge method that is being carried to you all the time. And that is what like will like take a lot of space, and that is going to like slow the speed of execution. So that's why they optimize this thing in that way. What they say is like, whatever is going to Dunder Proto, I am going to optimize that. Now let's try to understand what is wrong with our users. Think about Visakha, Sonu, Elton, and Tinkle. What is the problem here?
Like again, we are creating the methods that we are going to use
So
again and
here,
again.
if you look at your method and you want to differentiate between them, every user will have different name and different score. So these properties are changing. What properties are not changing?
Increment score and decrement score.
Increment score and decrement score is not changing at all. So, and we are copying and pasting it on
Every
every
time.
instance of it. So if you look at it, like let's look at Sonu, you can see it is not in Dunder Proto that browser is going to optimize it. It is not in Dunder Proto. These methods are outside. Only methods inside Dunder Proto gets optimized. So Sonu and Tinkle, both of them are having a common method that is being used here, and that can be optimized if we put that into what?
Dunder Proto, inside Dunder Proto.
Right? So that can be done. So everybody understood the problem. So what is the problem we have? Because it is million user, you are repeating how many methods you have right now? 2 million methods.
Yeah.
But what if you have 10 methods? Then it becomes a lot more, right? 20 million methods, you're just repeating yourself. So that is not the optimized way of doing that. So the first thing here is like methods are repeating. So that is one thing we need to fix. How can we fix that? So we know that there is one way we can fix it by moving these two methods. Where?
Inside Dunder Proto.
Inside Dunder Proto. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to copy the whole thing and comment it out so you know the progression that we have made, okay? So here, what we can do is like, instead of having these users here, I can create a property called Dunder Proto. And inside that, I can keep these two methods. So now we have increment score. It is going to be a method that is a function that is going to do user score or something like that. Same here.
So semicolon. Under proto, sir, user dot under
User dot
under proto.
Okay, sorry. So we'll call it user dot Dunder Proto should be equal to this. Sorry. So we are adding a new property. First property we are adding in user is name. Second property we are using is score. Third property we are using is Dunder Proto. Inside that we are adding two methods because we know that browser is going to optimize Dunder Proto existence. And that's why we are trying to use it. So let's see if it is going to change anything about Sonu or not. So I'll go ahead and say Sonu. And here in our object, what are the things we can see? Name
and score, and
that's all we are able to see,
yeah.
right? In Dunder Proto, we can see both methods. Similarly, in the case of Tinkle, we can see it is the same thing. It goes into Dunder Proto. And what is the nature of object?
nature of first it look inside it, and if it doesn't find, then it's bubble out to the Dunder
So
Proto.
nature of object is if you're looking for a property you could not find inside an object, you will go down the Dunder Proto chain to look for that property, right?
Yeah.
So that is the thing we need to do. So here we'll move on to next part. Okay. So this is done, but are we sure that our methods are working properly? Now think about what do we need here. Okay. So I am saying Sonu dot increment score. So I am saying Sonu dot increment score. So whenever you're incrementing score, whose score you need to increment?
Sonu.
User Sonu.
Sonu, right? Whose score you want to increment when you're doing Tinkle dot increment?
Tinkle score.
But look at this Tinkle score, what happened? What if you do Elton dot increment score? Whose score we need to increment?
We need to increment Elton score.
And whose score we need to increment when we do something like this here? Vishakha dot increment score, and we can see the value 101, and things are working really well for us. Any problem here?
No.
So this is working. Our app is working and everything is working properly.
Yeah.
But if you try to understand here, I am saying increment score. Even here I'm saying increment score. Even here I'm saying increment score. I am calling the same method on different user, and each user needs to do only on specific user, right? So increment score only for Sonu, increment score only for Tinkle. I can just call that method again, and you can see the value is changing for Sonu to become 2. If we say Tinkle, it became 3. If we do Visakha, it became 102. And then if we say Elton, the value will become 12. So this is working properly for us. We can also go ahead and say Elton dot decrement score, call this method, and this will work for us. Because what we are doing is we are putting everything inside an object named user,
No,
and
sir.
everything is working properly.
There will be user dot score minus. Otherwise, in decrement function, it was incrementing it.
So we can say decrement and it is working properly.
Yeah.
It was 10 and it is going down. All good. Any problem with this way of doing?
No way.
There is no problem with doing this way. But that is where browser comes in, and that is where we are like, oh, how can we with not any problem? So that is the thing about programming. We will always have problem. We will have to solve it. So here the thing is, what we are doing is we are directly changing the Dunder Proto of an object. But what browser suggests is like, this is okay, this is good. Like this is a good way of creating this. But what browser suggests is you should not be changing the Dunder Proto directly. You should not be doing it by yourself. You let me know and I'll do it for you. Okay, so why they do that is because you know that we talked about Dunder Proto is optimized in some way. Like they optimize Dunder Proto to be used easily. So one back can be there and it can be used by multiple people. But here we are changing the Dunder Proto. The only rule that browser have is like Don't change Dunder Proto because we have to optimize it. If you are changing it, I'm not able to do it properly. Do you understand the problem here?
Yes. Yes. Sir.
It's not
Yes,
a
sir.
problem, it's just a requirement from the browser. So what I'll do is like I'll do the same thing again. Go ahead and comment it, and I'll tell you how to actually change the Dunder Pro. Like how can you actually do that? So one way of doing that is like they provide multiple methods on the basis of like how you're going to change Dunder Proto. So because you don't have to directly change this or treat this like a property and change it, they give you some methods. And what are those methods? So let's try to understand first method, and that is like, there is a method. How can you, okay, so let's talk about how can you create objects. What are the different ways you can create object? Anybody, you can tell me how can you create object? So I'll just say obj is equal to, what is the simplest way of creating object?
By just creating an object, empty object.
Curly brackets.
Yeah.
So this
Yeah.
is known as object literal. And this is the simplest way of creating object because you just put curly brackets open and close and you're done. There's another way of creating object, that is obj2, and that is you just say something like new object and you call it. Now if you look at the property obj and obj2, does it looks the same?
Yes, sir.
Should we expand it? Does it look the same?
Yeah.
So there is no
Yeah.
problem. If you just expand it also, this will be the same. So the thing that I'm trying to say is there are two multiple ways of creating object. One is using object literal and another is using object constructor. You don't understand constructor right now and it's perfectly fine. We'll understand it in next few days. So there are multiple ways of creating object. Now let's try to understand the third way of creating object. So here I'll go ahead and say obj3, and that is another way to create object, that is object dot create. I press enter and here it throws an error. So it is saying it is a type error. You cannot do something like this. It is saying object prototype may only be an object or null. So here what happens, the problem that is happening with this approach is, with this way of writing code is, oh, let me just expand it so you guys can see it properly. Okay, so here object.create accepts an object or null. What if I pass null here? Now it is not complaining. Now let's try to compare between obj. So look at obj. Now look at obj2. Now look at obj3. Let's try to see like what is the difference. Can you see any difference between obj, obj2 and obj3?
No, not till now.
Not till now. So I'll go ahead and expand it. Obj and obj2, there is any difference?
No, it's
Is there any difference between obj, obj2 and
Yeah.
obj3? What is the difference?
like obj and obj2 contains Dunder Proto, like inside that all, but in obj3 there is no properties over there.
Yeah, so there is no property, and why is that? Because we are passing
Null.
null here. What if I want to change that? Let's just try to change it and try to understand object.create properly. So I'll call this, and instead of passing a null, I'll pass an object, and here I'll say name is going to be Sam. So object.create accepts an object, and let's see what happens with that object. So I'll just call object3. Should I expand it? Do you
Yes,
see
sir.
Dunder Proto now?
Yeah.
It is pointing to what?
It is
Object.
pointing to object.
You expand it, and what do you find here?
Name Sam.
So can you see that object.create is a way to create empty object and a way in which you can change the Dunder Proto of the function by letting browser know to do that. You are not doing it. Browser is doing it for you, or a JavaScript engine is doing that for you, right? you're telling this method, go ahead and change the dunder proto of the newly created object to this object. And that's why you can see the dunder proto changed to name
Sam.
of Sam. So this is like informing the browser or the JavaScript engine that I'm going to change the dunder proto of a newly created object that I'm creating. So here, when you pass null here, what happens with that when you pass null?
Then there is no property over there.
There is no property over there because we are passing null. And that's why using object.create, you can change the dunder proto of the newly created object. So here, where we are creating the new object. On line number which line number we are creating a new object?
In 100, 100.
100. What do we need in our dunder proto? So this is where we will use what? Anybody who can just help me here? What we can do here?
Object.create.
Object.create. Good, Bisakha. And here inside that, what will we pass? We'll pass this object. So we'll say here, we'll go ahead and define, or we can also define it outside just to keep things simple. It should not be, but I'm just defining it outside. I'm just going to say user methods, because object.create accepts only two kind of data. What are those two kind of data? It can either be null,
value.
Null.
it can either be null, or it can be
Object.
an object. So here we need to pass an object. So, and I'm calling that object what? What I'm calling that object? I'm calling it user methods.
User methods.
So when I'm creating the new object, what should I call this?
User methods.
User method.
User methods. Refresh it. We have Sonu, we have Visakha. And if we look into this, Sonu has a dunder proto of decrement score, increment score, and the same goes here. Right now, this thing is outside. You must be thinking, okay, must be he is putting outside because of some reason. There is no reason. I can just put it inside also. But let's see if there is any problem now. Look at Sonu dot increment score and call it. It is saying user is not defined. Why is it?
In user method, it assessing user.score.
Yeah,
It is
obviously
not
it is saying
accepting.
user.score.
Yeah.
And we must be thinking, why not let's move this line from here to somewhere here. Then you will be like, but how can you do that? Because now username is not defined, so you cannot do that. So this is a problem of egg and chicken, right? If you move outside, that is not working. If it go down, it is not working. And the simplest way is like, if we move it outside, it will not work no matter what. Even it is not working it inside, so I'm just moving it outside. The reason it is not working is because I'm creating the object and I'm accessing that object here inside this function, and it doesn't have access to that object now. But what we need here is every time I'm calling Sonu.increment score and Visakha.increment score, think about increment score needs to act on which data? For Sonu.increment score?
Yeah.
For this one, you need this method to act on which data?
Sonu.
And for this one, you need to make it act on which data?
Visakha.
Elton, we need to act it on which data?
On Elton.
So can you see that the score I'm trying to access here, user, it needs to change every time that method is called, or only at the time that method is called. Because when I'm calling it with Sonu, it needs to get called with Sonu. When I'm calling it with Visakha, it needs to get called with Visakha. When I'm calling it with Elton, it needs to get called with Elton. So here what is happening, the value, or you can think of this to be context. Let's try to understand what I'm talking about. So we'll figure that out and then bring that concept here to use it. Say, what I'm talking to every one of you is I'll just go to each one of you and ask something like your hometown. Okay. So I'll be like, okay, Bharat.hometown. What will be the output? Okay,
It's hometown.
oh, I thought like it is going to be ghost town because Bharat was not saying anything. Okay, so it is like, okay, so what I'm doing is like try to understand this Bharat dot hometown. In which context I'm trying to look for hometown? Who is the context here?
Bharat.
But when I'm doing tinkle.hometown, what happens here? Hometown remained the same. What changed here?
The context, that is Tinker.
The context changed from Bharat to Tinkle. When I say Elton.hometown, I'm changing that context to Elton and so on and so forth. So for example, I can just say Kusal.hometown. So that will also change. So hometown remained the same. The only thing changing is context. Can you understand this? What is happening here? So what is happening? You are trying to access the context, and context can change. So think of it to be something like this one. There is another example I want to give. That is the one example. This is another one. Say in your house, there are 3 rooms. Okay. And each room has different number of people. Say this one has 2 number of people. So I'll just create 2 circles. Here I'll create 3 circles. That represents number of people in the house. So if you can look at here, you can see how many circles are here.
5.
Yeah, so here I can just say room 1 dot length and call it or something like that. I'm just saying like it's not necessary like this, but here it will be what? Room 2 dot length. Here it will be what?
Room 3.
So this is what is happening. What will be the output when I say room dot length?
2.
What will the output here?
3.
What will be the output here?
5.
So here we are saying room 1 dot length, room 2 dot length, room 3 dot length. But we need to write it into one function, all these 3 statements or all these million statements where this value is changing. Like room 1 is changing to room 2, room 2 is changing to room 3. But here I have to define it using 1. And that is where context comes in play. Instead of saying user, we will be using a keyword of the same character, that is 4 letter. What is that keyword? Anybody who can guess? This keyword is very simple to understand. You just have to guess. Guess it like what we...
This.
And we are going to replace it with this. And now you try to understand why, like we'll come back to this example. What I did is like right now I just replaced this with this. Why I replaced it is because think about when I'm doing Sonu.increment score, I want you to point at which object?
Sonu.
When I'm calling Visakha.decrement score, I want you to point at which object?
Vishakha.
So here the value of this is changing because this is the context. In which context you're calling me? So here you think about like room 1 dot length, room 2 dot length, room 3 dot length. I cannot keep changing this variable, but this can keep changing it for us. So this is a way to change the context. So here I'll go ahead, refresh this function and see what is happening here. So I'll say, along with that, let's just try to understand what is this. Like obviously we need to understand what is this. So I'll go ahead and log this. Whatever is this for you. And on top, I'm just going to log this. If you want to keep a message there just to understand that we are logging this value, I'll just make us emoji symbol here that we understand it. Okay, now let's refresh it. What we have, how many users we have? We have 4 users. So we'll start with Visakha. How many properties are there in Visakha object?
So name and score.
Name and score. Under Dunda Proto, can we find decrement and increment score?
Yes, sir.
So optimization is still there. Whatever we wanted earlier, like, okay, our methods were repeating. So we created an object and using object.create, we replace the Dunda Proto of this object with this method. Now we have that method. What we'll do is like, we'll go ahead and call increment score. We call it, the first thing that happens in increment score is on line number 99. That, what is that?
Console.log this.
Console log this. So this will always be an object. That is rule number 1. Keep it in your head. This will always be an object. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
Now the next thing is, it is saying this dot score. We know what is this.
This
This is an object with
Object.
property name Visakha and score of
100.
100. So this will be replaced with this user and score will become 100 plus 1, 101. Now let's try to do the same thing with Sonu dot increment score. Refresh it and you can see what is this here.
Object.
So in this example, instead of writing it 3 times different values, what can I write?
This.
This dot room, and even here I can say this dot room. Now instead of me asking you Bharat dot hometown or Visakha dot hometown or Kusal dot hometown, what will I say? I'll just directly say this dot hometown. And it will keep changing on the context, whether I'm talking to Visakha, whether I'm talking to Kusal, whether I'm talking to Tinkle, or whether I'm talking to Bharat. So that is the thing. This is what changes every time you are being called. Okay. So let's go ahead and follow the whole procedure. I'll go ahead and create a new user, Sadav, and here, how will I call it, Sadav?
Create user
So
and
I'll
name
call
and
create
score.
user, and here we'll pass the name
Name and score.
and score is 199, something like that. Now we have a new user. I'll refresh it. I'll look for Sadav dot increment score, call it, and we can see this became this object. When I'm saying Tinkle dot increment score, call it, when I'm doing Elton dot increment score, we can see the value of this is changing every time you're calling it. And this is like one of the rule of understanding the value of this. So everybody understood what is happening here?
Yes, Bhaiya.
If you still have any problem, please ask right now. No problem?
Oh, yeah.
Look at the example. If you're not able to understand any line of code, please tell me.
Sir, I didn't understand before one, like user dot score. Like now we convert it to days.
Okay.
Before, what's the problem? I didn't.
So if you look at this, the problem here is, we'll move it out. Okay. So we'd have copied it. No problem. I'll copy it now. So here, instead of this earlier, we were having.
User.
So now let's try to understand what is happening with this code. Is we are saying we are creating an user here in this context, okay? And if we move this method as you want, is like, let's move it inside here. So we have user methods. Inside that user method, I have a function, and that function uses the property user, user.score, and user.score return it. Here I'm saying user is equal to, I'm creating user after I am done with this part. If I move this code here, let's move it here. Or if you want, like, okay, directly to put this thing, we don't have to make it in this way. Let's just try making it this way. It will be much simpler, right? So here we are saying object.create, and we are passing an object here, okay? Now we are saying user.score. Let's go ahead, refresh this code, and we have commented other code. Look at Sonu. So in Sonu, we can see that we have name and score. In Dandaproto, we have decrement score and increment score. But when we say Sonu.increment score, it is giving us the value, and it is working properly, okay? So this will work if you put it in this way. The time it will not work is like, so for example, now if we move this to Visakha dot increment score, in this case, even it will work. It is working perfectly right for us. The reason I just tried to introduce the topic this here is because you can solve the problem like this, but what will happen? So now let's just try to comment it out, and let's not comment it. Okay, so here, now the problem occurs is when I want to take it out, I don't want to keep it here, all the methods. So I want to define it into something known as let user methods. It's not necessary to solve this problem only with this, but because that is going to come in future right now, the next problem, that is when we will need this. So, but for now, let's try to do it this way, okay? I want to put it on a variable because of my organization purposes. There's nothing else, okay? So I defined this. Now let's refresh it and look at increment score. Even now it is working. The problem that will occur is like, what if I want to take it out from this context and put it outside? It's not a thing that you should be doing all the time, but I'm just saying, if you're putting it outside, how can you solve it? Kusal, are you getting me what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, but sir, putting it in global scope, it will still work, na, sir? No.
I don't have context of user right now here, right? I don't have the context. I cannot go inside a function.
Oh, yeah, right, sir. Right, sir.
Yeah, so I'm not saying this is the only way to solve it. I'm just saying, what if you have to solve it this way? But don't worry, this is just an assumption that we have made it here. The real problem will occur right now, okay? So here, let's see what are the things that is going. So everybody understood why we are using this? And we'll try to understand what is the limitation with this approach.
Yeah, now I understood, sir.
So now we'll try to understand this, like what is happening here. So what are the things we are going to do now is like, whenever you have to create, these are things that is known as class. Class is a way of creating objects like this, okay? So using class, we create an object. So whenever you're creating these things, think about what are the things we need to take care of. Tell me. Because there are a lot of rules going on here. Can you see the rules of object.create, putting it into an object? You have to remember those things. So what are those things that you have to remember?
First, like while creating object, we have to pass inside an object.
While creating a new object, what are we doing here? Can you tell me on line number 138, what is happening?
Yeah, like object.get, we have to, in parameter, we have to pass an object.
So first rule is, while creating a new object, you have to use object.create, so that object goes into the Dandaproto, and that is necessary. That is the first thing. what is the second rule we need to do is put all the methods in an object, right? Because if we'll not put the methods in the object that create only accepts null or an object, right? So the step we need to do is like first step we need is put all the methods in the object. While creating the object, use object.create and methods, or you can say method object. Okay, so this is step 2. What is step 3 you have to do? So first you are creating the object, then you're using object.create to put these methods into Dunder Proto. You are doing it is like add all the extra properties in an object. So step number 3 will be adding all properties like name and score inside the object. The fourth thing you are doing is you have to return the user. So these are the things we have to take care of. Okay, any problem?
Okay.
Okay. Then another problem that I can see right here is like for creating a class, we will have to manage how many variables we will need at least. We need a function, that is the first thing. We also need a user method, right? So how many things we are managing? We are managing this variable and we are also managing this variable. Why I'm talking about that is let's see. We are managing 2 variables or function. I'm calling it function is because like this is a function and this is a variable. Why I'm talking about it? Let's see. If you are given a choice to use 1 variable to solve a problem and you are given a choice to use 2 variables to solve the problem, which one will you use?
1 variable.
Why?
Saves memory.
Yeah, memory is one part. Anything else? When you're creating a variable, you will also have to manage that variable, right? Like, okay, reassign that value, change that value, and okay, you have to name it user method. So when you're creating a variable, you will have to name it. That is also a problem, right? And naming is not easy. So here is like one problem is like the more variable we have, the bigger problem we can get into. So there are the first thing, so if you have to create a structure like this that is optimized for everyone, the first thing you need to do is to create a variable that should be an object with all the methods that you need, then create a function. That function should create a new object using object.create. Then you put all the properties inside that. And along with that, at last you have to return that object. So these are the steps that we need when we need to do all these things. And sometimes we can forget 1 or 2 steps. And do you think it will work properly? It will not. And that is why we need to, like earlier people used to do this, but later on JavaScript, there was a 3-letter word that can automate all of these 3-4 process. It can automate everything here. And we'll try to see what is happening with that. But before that, let's go ahead and copy this thing from here and paste it here. So we know that what we are working on and where we went from which point. So right now we are here. What we need is let's go ahead and look at create user. So yesterday we learned about one thing called Dunder Proto. And where can you find Dunder Proto?
Inside an object.
Inside an object. Everybody is clear with that? Dunder Proto, you can always find it inside an object. Nowhere else. Okay. We also learned about where does all the methods of array stays. Where is all the methods of array?
Array.prototype.
So it is array.prototype. What is array? I don't know. Can we check what is array?
Array is an object.
Object.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Function.
No. Function.
Array is a function, but I can say array dot prototype. So I'm obviously a function is an object, so I'm making it behave like that. Now you must be thinking, is there any relation between prototype and dunder proto? Anybody who is thinking that, or anybody who has this question?
Yeah. Yes, sir.
There is no relation. That's why I'm focusing a lot on you to understand every, like when you say underscore underscore proto, dunder proto only exists in which type of data?
Object.
Yeah, that is rule number one, is like dunder proto always stays, always, like you can only find dunder proto inside an object. But here I'm able to find prototype inside what?
Array.
Inside what?
Function.
Inside a function. So let's see. Prototype is inside a function. Dunder proto is inside an object. That's why yesterday I introduced the topic dunder proto, and today I'm introducing the topic prototype. So you don't get confused. So whenever you talk about object, you talk about dunder proto. Whenever you talk about function, you talk about
Prototype.
prototype. So now we have understood it. Do we have any function here? Can we see, do we have any function here?
Create user.
Create user is a function. I can say is, let's look at create user in the form of object. So this is a function in the form of object. Can you see the property prototype here? The same case, I can say dir array. Array is what? A capital array is what? We'll look at this here.
Function.
It's a
Function.
function. So let's expand it. Do we see anything like prototype?
Yes.
Okay, let's think of this to be, let's imagine your function to be a kangaroo. Okay, so have you seen the pouch of kangaroo?
Yeah.
It can keep the children there, right?
Yeah.
So that is how you should be thinking about prototype. Prototype is just an object, or a prototype is just a key, and the value of that is an object. You can think about prototype is just a key and the value is an object. And it can be like, I don't know why they named it prototype, but obviously prototype, they named it is because they can, like, they just wanted to name it in that way because it is the prototype of this function. And I think it is intentionally kept inside every function. And that is an empty object that we have. So think about, every function has a pouch where we can keep all the methods that we need. So do we need any extra variable like this? Okay, let me say it again. Every function has a pouch named prototype that is just a blank object. It is of no use. There is constructor or something, it's of no use. Just let's consider that. You can think of prototype to just be a blank object right here. So prototype is a blank object that you can find in every function declaration. Here what we are doing is we are defining the function inside a variable and then we are using it this way. But what if I don't want to create a new variable? Can I put it like this one? I can just say, after defining this function, here we'll come down and we'll say, I don't have to define a new variable. I can just say create user dot what?
Prototype.
Prototype. And when I'm defining this, what I can do?
Yeah.
Which object we need to pass here? Where is my object? In object.create, that should go into dunder proto. Okay, so where we have added our object, can you see that?
Create user
Prototype.
prototype.
Create user.prototype. So here also we'll say create user.prototype. I don't have to use a new variable for that. So I'm just using the one variable. Can you see now the number of variable has decreased to how many?
One.
And it is not the huge benefit. We'll have a benefit, we'll understand later on, but right now just try to understand. Actually, we can do this. There is no problem. Let's refresh this app, look at Visakha and increment score. And it is working for us. There is no problem because I told you it is nothing but just an object. So you can think of create user is a function that has a property called prototype, and that is where we have added these methods. Can you see that?
Yes.
And
Yeah.
when we are creating the object, we are going to do something like this. We are just learning about the pattern, different patterns which we can use to have better organization and better performance. For performance, we are putting into Dunder Proto, and for organization, we are putting all the methods into prototype. So did you understand that term that I said? Like for performance, we are doing object.create, and for organization, we are doing create user.prototype. Okay, how many of you are confused right now?
I am.
Huh? Okay, so confused about what? Let's talk about it.
So what does Dunder prototype have now?
What does Dunder Proto have?
Yes.
So see, first thing is Dunder Proto exists only in the object. Okay. Prototype exists in the function.
Function.
Okay. Clarity, very huge difference there. Now, the reason we put anything into Dunder Proto is because browser can optimize Dunder Proto in terms of, you remember the example we were talking about, like this one? You have one array bag, and whenever you're using it, it goes to this place, and when this one is using it, goes to this place. So it's only one bag being used multiple places, and that is how Dunder Proto works. Browser optimizes Dunder Proto in this way. So that's why putting the method into Dunder Proto is easier and more optimized. And that's why we are doing object.create, because earlier what we were doing changing the Dunder Proto by ourselves. If you remember the code here, we were changing the Dunder Proto, then we got to understand if browser is telling you not to change Dunder Proto, tell me when to change it. So I'm telling browser using the method object.create to change the Dunder Proto of newly created object to create user.prototype.
Ankit?
Yeah.
So a function is an object, right?
Yeah, function is an object.
So if I look at a function with the dir, it
Yeah.
should, why is it not showing me a Dunder Proto over there?
It is showing me Dunder Proto also. Look at this.
Right, it is.
Yeah, a function is an object, but object is not a function. That's why every object doesn't have prototype.
Prototype. Right.
See, the reason I'm trying to do this is because let's try to, how many of you didn't understood when I did create user.prototype? Visakha, any problem now?
I am still confused.
And confused about what?
I didn't understand the create user.prototype part.
Okay, create user.prototype. Okay, forget about it. Okay. How many of you didn't understood about create user.prototype?
From what I understand, prototype works similar way to Dunder Proto in functions.
What can you say it
Is
again?
it like from what I understand, the prototype in functions works similar to Dunder Proto in objects.
No, it's not like that. Like what happens is Dunder Proto in object is just the, like that is what is getting optimized. Prototype is nothing. I don't know. Don't think of prototype to be anything. Okay. Prototype is nothing but just a I told you the example of kangaroo, right? Like there is a space, a belly there that people like they can keep their child. So you can think of prototype to be just an empty of. So prototype is a special property on every function declaration that is just an empty object. That's all it is. It can be called anything. Just change the name of prototype to something like XYZ. Okay. So think in this way. Change the name to be XYZ. Let's see what I'm trying to do here. You know that function is an object, right? So I can call create user. I have a function. I can just add a property XYZ is equal to an object. Now, if you look at create user, dir create user, and enter it, what will you find here? Will you find XYZ is equal to curly brackets?
Yeah.
You should think of prototype to be the same thing. That's all. There is only like, I don't like, so that's what I'm saying. Like naming is confusing, not the concept is confusing.
Okay, so prototype is used as an empty object instead of, actually creating an object.
Exactly. That's
Okay.
all it is.
Yeah.
So prototype inside a function is just an empty object that you can use if you need it. So you can think of this to be something like, say, for example, there is a place that we go for trekking, okay? In that place, there is an empty house. Whoever comes for trekking can use this house and next day he can go back. Next day he comes back again, other person, he can use this house and go back. So this is just an empty house that can be used for some purpose. The reason, think about it, is like if the house is fixed, that this is the only house in the area, will this person have to find or look for any other house?
No.
So it is fixed, like, okay, this is the house that you have to live in, and this is the house you have as an option. There is no other house. So you cannot look into any other things. So that's why, like, whenever you look at this is just an object. So I created an object like this. So don't forget about what we did here. What I can do is, instead of saying here, even this one will work. Refresh it. Here, what we are doing inside the, because we know function is an object, why not create an object inside the function so we can carry all the things together? Do you want to carry two bags, one with laptop, one with charger? Tell me.
No.
So this is the data and this is the method. Earlier, if you look at the example, we were carrying our method in another bag and we were carrying our method in like our laptop in another bag. Can you see the example here now? So there are two bags we are carrying our laptop. One bag there we are carrying charger, another one we are carrying our laptop. Visakha, will you do that?
No way.
So what will you do? You will just create a small portion in your bag. So what I'm doing, I'm saying, okay, in my bag, go ahead, create a special pouch where I'm going to keep my charger. Does it make sense?
Yes.
Now it makes sense. So let's just try to understand. Refresh it. Look at Sonu. Now we can find name is Sonu. Score is this. Dunder Proto, we can find it here. If we say Sonu dot increment score, it is working properly. No problem. Even if we are doing it XYZ. Okay. All good.
Yes, Gaya.
So now it is clear actually, right? Visakha, it's not like you're just saying yes.
No way. I got it.
Oh, so now what we will do is like, but we are like, okay, why to create a new house? So it is like every person who is coming here is creating their own house. This is the default house that is known as
Prototype.
prototype. Good. And this is the house that I am creating because I'm a fool. Say for example, I'll just go ahead and I'm like, okay, I'm going for trekking and I'm like, I have a house called prototype, but I'm too smart to be true. So I'm like, no, I'll create my own house. And I'll go back from the trek from here. Then somebody else come and is like, okay, there is already house. Why would I create it? So while you're going back, you will be like, okay, destroying this house, done. Now here I'm just using this house and coming back here. So I know that if somebody is lost here, I know that no matter what happens, I can just go into the prototype house and find it there. All good? So we are just going to replace XYZ with what?
Prototype.
That's all that it is.
Ankit sir, with different house, you mean with already contain prototype has an empty. We should use that.
No, yeah. So I'm saying that every function has a house named prototype. So that is one way of doing that. Think about when we were naming it XYZ, do you think everybody will name that XYZ? Or everybody will name it differently?
Differently.
So that's what is creating a new house means. Like what I'm doing is like creating new house every time I'm going there. So somebody will call it XYZ, somebody will call it something else like PQR, somebody will call it methods, somebody will call it something else. But why do we need to create this if we already have a predefined thing called as prototype? Kusal?
Okay. Yeah. Now
Okay. So now, and we'll see the benefit of this right now in just 2 minutes. That is the last thing we are going to do, and that will be the end of the session today. Refresh it and everything is working for us. All good. Now the only problem we are facing is, so I'll move this. The only problem we solved here was which problem we solved? Managing two variables and functions. Now here, look at the requirement that you have now. So the requirement that we have right now is, okay, who can walk me through creating a class like this in JavaScript? How can you do that right now? What are the different ways of doing it? Like, how will you do it? You'll create a function. So start from there. You'll create a function. That is the first thing. What is the second thing? So what I mean is, like, when you have to create something like this, you will have to first create a function. Every function has a prototype property. Put your methods in that prototype property and use object.create to put this method in the newly created object. Add all the other properties. And at last, you have to return this user. So these are the 4-5 steps that you have to do to make this work.
Yeah.
Okay, so anybody else who can repeat it again?
Yeah, like to create like this, first we have to create a function, create user.
Okay.
Inside that, we can create a object that is by using object.create. Inside that will pass as a parameter will pass an object, and that object we can create like using create user.prototype. Inside that will put all our methods that we are going to use.
Okay, and we are using object.create, and
yeah,
we are using adding all the properties and returning all the values, right? So can you see there are a lot of steps here, right?
Yeah.
And actually you're not going to write any of this. The reason I'm talking to you about all these things is because we need to know about the history so we can just appreciate the present. It's very important. So now I'm going to use a 3-letter word that is going to optimize, or that is going to automate all this process. The 4 process that I have written is like put all the method in an object, or you can say put all the method. I'm just calling it f.prototype. So you can think about function.prototype. Now, while creating the new object, use object.create and f.prototype. Third is add all the properties, name and score, and return the user. These are 4 things we need to do. What we are going to do now is we are going to automate this whole process by using a 3-letter word. Anybody who can guess what is the 3-letter word?
New keyword.
New keyword. Okay. So let's just try to understand what we are going to do. Okay. So create user is a method. It accepts name and score. you know that you always have to, do you think like every time you are creating a like class now, you will be putting your method where? Where will you put your methods every time you will be creating now?
Inside prototype.
Inside the function.prototype. Okay.
Yeah.
So this line will always remain same or not?
Yes.
Can I automate this line? Obviously I can. There's no problem. So I'll go ahead and delete this because this line can be automated. But now the point is, what will I name this variable? Every user can name their own, but what can I name it here? I don't think we need to name anything. Look at this. Whatever we are creating here is whatever we are returning here, right?
Yeah.
So instead of this line, I'm going to comment it out, and here I'm not going to do anything because let me see like what we can do. Now we don't have any user. We can replace it with a value of this. And by default, it will do. So don't worry, I'm just going to write the whole code and then explain it to you what it is. So right now I created a function. That function accepts name and score. We know that we are going to write all the methods always in the same function.prototype. So I can automate this line. But when I'm automating this line, where will I store that object? On what name it should be? So what actually happens is it creates an object known as this, and that is where it stores the value. Now this is the object. Can you put properties into that? And it will return it. Don't worry, just give me a second. Now, what we are not doing, think about what we are not doing. We are putting the method, we are putting the method here. Now we are creating the new object using object. We don't have to do that because we are automating that. We are not returning anything because we are automating that. And how can we automate it? So we'll just go in front of each user and add a 3-letter word, and that is new enter. So we'll understand it, like, but let's first see the output. Okay, increment, 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 nothing is changing. Everything is working. So let's try to understand what happened when we use the keyword new in front of the function. So first thing is, when we are using the new keyword in front of the function first it does is it creates a new object. So that is the first thing new does. What it does?
It creates an object.
Creates an object.
New object.
So say it again. What it does, what new does first thing. So new creates a new object and names it this. Because we have an object, we can put some properties into it. What is the last thing it does? Okay, so this is 1 and this is, make it like 4 or 3, make it 3. So first thing it does is to create a new object. Last thing it does to return that copy of that object. What is the second thing it does? Can anybody tell me what it is doing for the second time? We are still missing, we are not doing this property by ourselves. So new will link f dot type to, not link, will copy f dot prototype to dunder proto of this. This, you can think about this to be a newly created object. So now let's recap. When we are saying new in front of any function, what is the first thing it does? It creates a new object.
It's create a new object and
so I'm just trying to automate this process. Okay, so this keyword is automating this process. The first thing it does is creates a new object and names it this. Last thing it does is to return that object. And second thing it does is it will copy the function.prototype. Can you see? I'm copying the function.prototype into the newly created objects dunder proto. And that is all 3 steps that new does for you. So if we take this code and comment it out and go next to this, and I remove all these lines, now you see your classes, it will look something like this. I'll remove this line also and save it. And instead of doing all those things that we had to remember, we are just using the new keyword, because we know that the method is always going to be inside the prototype of the function. I have to put it and I have to return it. So this is what new keyword does. Refresh it and you want to check it, it will work exactly the same it was working. Any question?
Yeah, understood. The thing, Ankit sir, the copy of create user.prototype, is it copying or it's copying the only memory reference?
Obviously it is on object, so it will be a reference.
Okay, okay.
But like everybody understood why we are using new. We are just using new to automate the process. Just automation we are doing. Actually, we are doing the same thing, but we are just automating it. Anybody, any problem? No problem. Last is now. So let's just look at one more last problem and we are done with this. And this is what actually you are going to write in real world example. So here, anybody who can tell me any problem? And I can just tell you one problem is the problem of organization. The problem is one important thing I forget about it, okay? So whenever you are calling a function using new, what will it return? Can you tell me what type of data it will return?
Object.
It will always return an object. Why? Because it creates an object and returns an object. Right? Like what is the first step it does?
Creates
an object.
Creates an object, and what is the last step it does?
Return the newly object.
And this is not a explicit return. This is implicit return. It happens by just JavaScript does it. You don't have to do it. Okay. So whenever you use new in front of every function, it will always be, and that's why we say new array. Can you see that? So here, whenever a function name is starting with a capital case, it's a hint that you have to call this function. How can you call a function? Think about it. Like if you have a function called add, how do you call it? Like this? But this is a convention that whenever the function name is starting with capital case, you have to call it with new. But is our function starting with capital case?
No.
So we'll change it to create user like this. Now this is okay. So whenever you see a function starting with capital case, so never name your function. And you remember Bharat, yesterday I was telling you about never name your function to be capital case. And this is the reason. Because JavaScript is not differentiating between them, but we have to differentiate in terms to call it like normal function or call it like a constructor function. So this type of function, when you call it with new, is called constructor function. And it's a convention. It's a rule that community has made for all of us. Now let's just look at last thing and we are done with this. And that last thing is, the only problem I can see is like I have to create this and I have to create this whole thing. So outside of it, so organization is not that perfect. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to comment it out. And the last thing, I'm making it going for the last topic, that is classes. What is class? So let's just look at what is a class. So instead of defining a function, now I'll define a class. And when you are defining a class, you don't do something like this. You just say class and open. class has a function called constructor that is a predefined function, and that is what takes the parameter. So parameter, when we were passing it to other function, now we will have to pass it here. So this is how you create a constructor. Now let's try to understand why I'm just trying to do that. It's like I'm creating a class. Even if it looks like a class, what if we'll do the type of create user? What it is?
Tail function.
Function.
So it looks like it is a class, but actually it is a function. So it is just for organizational purpose. Like we just have to organize it. And let's see why we can organize it this way. Now what you can do, you can move this here. And you can move this here. You don't have to put a comma. So here I'm saying increment is going to be a function. Similarly, decrement is going to be a function. Now, if we remove this part, let's see if it is working or not. Refresh it, call Sonu dot increment score. Call it again, call it again, and it is working all the time, right? So here what we are doing is we are creating a class, and you can think of class to be just like an object. And the only reason we are doing it is just to organize our constructor and other things at the same place inside the same umbrella. That's all. Now here, earlier we were calling it create user because it was a function, but now it is a class. We can just call it user. So user is a class that is going to take name and score, and we are going to call it with new is because new will create an object, name it this, it will add these properties there and return that this value. Now previously what we were doing, methods was like we were putting method outside and this was being put inside. Now we can just put everything at the same place. So class is just a way to organize this way of writing classes, or this way of writing, creating objects. So class is just an organized way of writing, creating object. That's all. We have a constructor function. Constructor function is very, very similar to our main function that initializes or that sets up the basic variables. And here what you can also do is like, it's not a property of classes, it's just a property of object. Is instead of writing function, you can directly say this is the key and this is a function. You can do it. You can do it inside an object also. So I'll just show you that. So I have an object, let obj is equal to, I want to create an add method. So how do you define that? You do it something like this. Alert, hello. And this is known as short syntax. So I am saying add is the key and that is a function. The same thing, you can also do it like this. Remove this whole thing and you say add is a function and call obj.add. It will do the same thing. So it is also known as short syntax of writing functions. So you can just name the function and put that parenthesis here, and that parenthesis will do these things. And you just have to use this to access this variable, and this is what a class is. This is what a class is. But overall, class, you can also think of it to be a syntactic sugar. Sugar means like, even if it looks like class, but internally, if you look at type of user, what will you find? Refresh, sorry. What it is?
Function.
And this is what you will actually write. Can you imagine like where you started and where you are right now?
Yeah.
But we know each step, why we did what we did. Okay, how many of you are like still processing it? Any question if you have, so I can just pause the video and then later on I can just upload it. Anything else you have? Any problem? Okay, I'll just pause the video then.
I think I'll have to watch the video again, and probably then I'll have some questions.